Northern Kentucky and Ohio State. The first contest in the MIVA for Northern Kentucky, and it is the Buckeyes who will serve first, and it is Shane Wetzel who will get things started. Down the middle, and that one blocked out wide, and the first point goes to Northern Kentucky. For Northern Kentucky, it will be Nick Whitley to get things started. Lefty will bring it and will serve it into the net, so all tied up at 1. It's an Ohio State team that has 3 losses on the season, and those 3 losses are to 3 of the top 4 teams in the AVCA poll. So this is a battle-tested team. They have not dropped a set outside of those 3 matches. As you see, Jack O'Riordan serving, and that one is blocked. Eliel Salvatores getting the first block. And the Buckeyes take a 2-1 lead. Take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment for both of these sides. No huge surprises for either team as that one into the net ties things up at 2. Matt Cosgrove to serve for Northern Kentucky. Grad student transfer from Penn State. And there's another kill for Salvatores. Had a block a moment ago and now gets a kill, and now will step back to serve. Junior from Puerto Rico. Transfer in from Lincoln Memorial, team that Northern Kentucky just faced last weekend. And service error will keep things even in this opening set. If you're new to men's volleyball, there are a few differences from the women's game. One thing that's not different is playing best of 5 sets. The first 4 sets would go to 25, but you have to win by 2. That's something that we'll talk more about as we go. Tapped over and piece of the block, but it goes wide. As Owen Pickering able to put that one away. And send Daniel Henwood Rodriguez back. Another Puerto Rico native. This high school to 4 national championships. He's the team MVP 3 times. As I was saying, first 4 sets to 25, have to win by 2. Good serve there by Henwood Rodriguez. Off the fingertips of the block there by Pickering. There's McKelvin against his former teammates. And Pickering able to squeeze that one through. Norse keep it alive. Another chance here for Pickering, and calling for a touch. Ohio State wondering if there were 4 contacts a little bit earlier where that ball squeezed through the block, and team asking Kevin Birch. And Birch decides not to challenge that, so score tied up at 4 apiece. Working on some technical difficulties with our graphics. We'll get that worked out in a moment. It's McKelvin to serve. And McKelvin will get the ace. Bad pass there from the back. Something that Jim Paolonis told us, head coach for Northern Kentucky, is serving targets are going to be really important. We talked about serving accuracy for Northern Kentucky. It's going to be very important that they put the ball where it needs to be to have a chance against this powerful Ohio State attack. And off the fingertips of the block there is Aaron Grimm, redshirt sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, back in his home state. And Owen Pickering will go back, the Ottawa, Ontario native. Serve there, handled by Klausing. That one off the block and slips its way through from Griffin Wheatley. Playing against his former teammate. Of course, he transferred in as well from Lincoln Memorial, where he spent 2 years. And now it'll be Wheatley to go back to serve. Averaging 2.78 kills per set so far this season for the Norse. And the service error makes it a 6-6 opening set. And Northern Kentucky scored correct. Ohio State also with 6. As Aaron Grimm will serve. Led Trinity High School to a state championship in 2022 and led his team in kills and hitting percentage during that state title run. Another put away there for Northern Kentucky as Adam Blair comes up the middle, the transfer from Wittenberg. Keeps Northern Kentucky in front 7-6. player to serve here. Lakota West High School native and sails that one. So it'll be all tied up at 7. So Ohio State's come back around. Shane Wetzel for the second time in this one. Swing there by Cosgrove. Buckeyes keep it alive. And Norris block, and it lands in the court. Northern Kentucky coming up with a big block there to take an 8-7 lead. Didn't have some technical difficulties. We'll get a chance at some point to look at our starters. Of course, the starters presented by Central Bank, the official banking partner of NKU Athletics. Lefty Whitley from the back. There's the 3-time All-American Shane Wetzel. The lefty forces Northern Kentucky to send it into the crowd, all tied up at 8. Jack O'Riordan, Barrington, Illinois native, getting his first set start of the season. Just keep it off the floor. And that one, don't think there was a touch, or was there? There was not. Northern Kentucky thinks there was a touch. Will we get our first challenge of the night? And indeed, Jim Paolonis will go to the green card. So it'll be a touch challenge. Of course, the replay system in effect. So we're going to take a look now while we have this replay at the starters for both teams. Of course, presented by Central Bank, the official banking partner of NKU Athletics. And I promise you, Daniel Henwood Rodriguez only has to play one position out there. But again, Jack O'Riordan notable getting the start in this one tonight in place of Stanislaw Hachensky. Let's take a look at the Northern Kentucky starters against Central Bank, the official banking partner of NKU Athletics. Replay was quickly handled, and now our down official will go talk to Jay Wenzel, PA announcer, to let him know once he goes over to let the scorekeepers know. Did Northern Kentucky win this challenge? There was a touch. So Northern Kentucky wins the point and takes a 9-8 lead. See Victor certainly excited about these opening challenge in this match. Good crowd on hand tonight here at Regents Hall. Cosgrove, good serve from Cosgrove. From the back, it's Wetzel again. Norris keep it alive somehow. Fausing sends it over. Joust at the top. Goes on the Ohio State side. Pickering is blocked. Pickering again, set too far. Buckeyes keep it alive. Another joust over on the Northern Kentucky side. Quick set. Right down the middle, and the Buckeyes finally put it away with Salvatores. Entertaining point there that Ohio State ends up winning. Keep it all tied at 9. Salvatores. Overpass, and Ohio State's going to make you pay for that all day long. Aaron Grimm puts it away. Mentioned this is a battle-tested Ohio State team coming back from the West Coast. Probably not thrilled with the weather that they returned to after being out in sunny Southern California as Salvatore serves into the net. Speaking with somebody in the Los Angeles area yesterday and telling me it was 80 degrees, which is even a little warm for LA this time of year. None of us are going to shed any tears here in the Ohio River Valley. From the back row, Northern Kentucky throws up the block, but it goes just wide. And it's an 11-10 lead for the Buckeyes. Daniel Henwood Rodriguez. And misses long. We're tied once again at 11. Here's Will McKelvin. Played in 5 matches a season ago for Ohio State. The Windermere, Florida native. Puts this one over. And that one misses wide off the block. Point to Ohio State, a 12-11 lead. And here comes Owen Pickering once again. Buckeyes throw up the block again, and they take a 2-point lead here in this opening set. Something that concerned NKU head coach Jim Paulonis. This Ohio State block, trying to find ways to work around it. He starts with that first pass. Coming up, putting it away. That time was Griffin Wheatley. Norris back to within a point. We close in on the media timeout. A couple points away. Wheatley throws that way out in front. Tapped over. Norris keep it alive off the O'Riordan tap. That's going to be a joust at the top. Norris keep it alive. Tapped over, and it drops behind. Put away good for Matt Cosgrove to tie things up at 13. Norris certainly holding their own early as we see Kevin Birch. Just picked up his 100th career victory a couple weeks ago. He's had a ton of success as an assistant coach and getting this Ohio State program in a position where they can think about challenging for another national championship. That one misses wide off the swing of Grimm. And it's the Norse who take a 1-point lead. There's Jim Paulonis. Knows this Ohio State team well, of course. Spent time at Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Ball State as an assistant. Now getting his opportunity to build a program here at Northern Kentucky. And out of the sky that time is Shane Wetzel to put it away. There, Drew Hudson off. Eliel Salvatore is back on. One more point to the media timeout. It's Aaron Grimm. It's served by Grimm, forces the overpass, but then it's blocked so far. Ohio State at 238. And service error levels things once again at 15. As that was Leo Trespassis Wink, who came in as a serving sub and now is headed right back out. And that one a little bit long from Shane Wetzel. Norse keep their nose in front. There's Nick Whitley. The lefty will bring the heat as well. Handled nicely by Hudson. From the back. Yes, indeed. Shane Wetzel makes it look so easy. Just that easy power from the lefty. Here's Jack O'Riordan. Bad set there. Norris were out of system. And Buckeyes make them pay for it with Owen Pickering. Coming off of a career-high 12 kills against the Trojans out in Southern California. The Buckeyes have gone in front by 1 here in the first. And that one just misses long. O'Riordan with the service error levels things at 17. Matt Cosgrove, native of Chesterfield, Missouri, but his family recently moved to the greater Cincinnati area, so bit of a homecoming for him. He's able to keep that one alive. Back set there, Buckeyes block. Second chance, Buckeyes keep it alive, but not able to keep it alive for long. Double contact brings that to an end, and Northern Kentucky back in front once again here in the first set. Cosgrove once again. Someone that Jim Paulonis calls a dynamic player with a heavy arm. From the back, speaking of dynamic players with a heavy arm, it was Wetzel. Norris keep it alive, though. It'll be a free ball here for the Buckeyes. Wetzel again, and he's blocked this time. Griffin Wheatley goes up to get the block. And the Norse lead by 2 here in the first set. Ohio State will take the first time out of the match. Northern Kentucky hanging right in there against the number 12 team in the country. Let's take another look at how Northern Kentucky is able to take this 2-point lead. You saw it quickly there. Certainly not easy to want to get in front of a chain of 3 televised volleyball matches. Norse with a 2-point lead after the Ohio State timeout. Pickering kept alive. Clausen keeps it off the floor. Tapped up by Henwood Rodriguez. Pickering's going to get another chance, and a net violation against Northern Kentucky will give the point to Ohio State. But Jim Paulonis quickly runs over with the green challenge card, and we will have a challenge. And I don't know if he's challenging the net violation, the call at the end. And that is indeed what is going to be challenged. So I don't know if he thought Ohio State was in the net or if he's just thinking that his team was not in the net. It was immediate, not even a split second after that point had ended, he immediately came over with the card. Look at the stats so far here in set number 1. Norse have hit the ball well. 7 kills, just 2 hitting errors, 278. Ohio State 11 kills, 5 hitting errors. Norse have a 1 block edge in total blocks. That feels like the reason they've been able to get in front in this first set. We'll see if we can see, was Northern Kentucky in the net? Looks like maybe the arm of one of the blockers came down on top of the net. Now, one thing we do want to mention is there's a specific camera system for these replays that we don't have access to. And indeed, the call is confirmed, as we're able to confirm with our camera here right there, that quick touch on top of the net. Good work by the officials getting that one right in live time. And of course, replay technology there to make sure. Salvatore steps back to serve with the Buckeyes down by a point. Salvatore keeps that one alive. Buckeyes send it over. Quick set off the block. Again, Salvatore is there. Pickering on the left side. Boy, that's some great defense to offense there from the Buckeyes to tie this first set up at 19. Torres ready to come again. Tapped over, Buckeyes send it back and then dunked home. Second chance works for Wheatley. Ryan Peterson set to serve. Freshman from Indianapolis. A lot of freshmen on this team. This is a young Ohio State team as well. Teams are going to be competing against each other with these configurations for a while. Back set of McKelvin. That went off his head, I think, and went over. From the back, off the block, Shane Wetzel. That time showing a little bit of the craftiness. Didn't just go with the big heater there, looking for the arms of the block and able to drive it off. All tied up at 20. Daniel Henwood Rodriguez set to serve. Overpass right out of the gate gives the Buckeyes a chance, and from the back, able to put it away is Jack O'Riordan. The Buckeyes take advantage of the miscue by Northern Kentucky, and now it's the Norse who will take their first time out of the opening set. Ohio State 4 points away from this first set. Hitting a 323 clip. Have the advantage by 1 with Henwood Rodriguez set to serve once again. And that one just took a look on the other side and then dropped back on the same side, all tied up at 21 as McKelvin will go back to serve. On the left side is Wetzel. Blocked the first time. That one off the block as well, and Wetzel tried to save it, and he saved it into the face of Aaron Grimm, and it hits the floor. Northern Kentucky gets the point and retakes the lead. And we've got a shoe that needs to be tied. Chance for everybody to take a breath here as Adam Blair make sure it's good and tight here. Forced by 1. Almost blocked that attempt by Pickering, who's now over here on the right side. Joust at the top, and the point goes to Ohio State. The Buckeyes get the better of the joust and tie it up at 22. Now it's Pickering. Big serve by Pickering forces the overpass. Chance for the Buckeyes to retake the lead. Off the fingertips of the block by Wetzel. From the back, and no touch there. That one sails long, the swing of Cosgrove. And Ohio State 2 points away from this first set. And Northern Kentucky will take its final timeout of the opening set, which has been an entertaining one. Don't know if the Buckeyes get PTSD when they start getting close here in these sets. Of course, Ohio State fans know all too well. Northern Kentucky fans may not be aware. Ohio State was a part of history last weekend, their trip to UCLA, taking part in the longest set in NCAA volleyball history, men's or women's, a set that goes 58 minutes. Ohio State had 7 set points, and it was on the 17th set point that UCLA won it 48-46. But it shows you the resilience of this Ohio State squad, and I think that's something that Kevin Birch took away from that long set, and really the way his team played, because then they've come back and take USC right to the wire, losing 5 sets to the Trojans. But this Ohio State team, as young as they are, believes they can play with anybody in the country, and I think that's going to serve them well entering NEVA play against in a conference that is loaded with teams that are ranked in the top 20, 6 of them, including the Buckeyes. Pickering. And again, that set was a little bit too high, and Wheatley can't handle it, and now set point here for the Buckeyes. It's been a back and forth opening set with 9 lead changes, but now it's Ohio State with set point. And the Heat brings it to a close as Pickering gets the ace to close the opening set. 280 last season. At double-digit kills 14 times at Lincoln Memorial. We'll get it started here in set 2. And just like that, quickly put away. Salvatore with another kill. Kill number 3. It'll be Shane Wetzel to get things started for the Buckeyes once again in set number 2, just as he did in set number 1. Took a little off of that one, really kind of threw Northern Kentucky off, and then a block. That was Zach Jarbo, who's in the match for the first time, and he is stuffed by the Ohio State block. A 2-0 lead for the Buckeyes. three-time honorable mention All-American, three-time member of the MIVA All-Tournament team. Free ball here, chance for the Buckeyes to take the first three of this set. Kept off the ground that time, but we're going to have a lift called against Northern Kentucky. Double contact's allowed, but it can't go over on double contact. You obviously can't still lift it and throw it. That's still illegal, but double contact rule put into place to try to make it a little easier for the officials to officiate both men's and women's volleyball. Big swing by Wetzel. From the back, McKelvin, no. And the Buckeyes have all the momentum to open set number 2. And Jim Paulonis may be looking to make a change to try to break this momentum and avoid using an early timeout. And it will be Matt Cosgrove to come back in. Zach Jarbo out. It's the Norse with their lineup that they started set number 1 with. It's hard to spot the Buckeyes a big lead. It's not the kind of team that's going to fold and go away. And an overpass, and then it hits the floor. It's a 5-0 lead as Salvatore puts it away. Norse were able to hang around in set 1. Talking to Jim Paulonis, he talked about how they won the opening set against Lincoln Memorial. Didn't think his team really knew what to do from there. Didn't maybe handle that first set success. They were able to keep that first set close against Ohio State. But how do you do that for maybe 5 sets? Another put away for Salvatore. It's all Buckeyes here in set number 2. And another substitution coming. It's going to be Kyle Sauer, the 6'9" grad transfer from BYU. He is a setter at 6'9". Kyle Sauer graduated from BYU in 2.5 years because it was going to be easier for him to transfer with a degree than it would have been to try to get credits to transfer, and that one misses. And Northern Kentucky finally on the board. I think Wetzel missed by much. Now Northern Kentucky can breathe a little bit and see if they can chip away at this 6-1 deficit with Adam Blair. Wetzel is blocked. That's a good way to start. Something Northern Kentucky was able to do effectively in set number 1. As I said, not easy to do to block Shane Wetzel. Got to be in the right spot. Got to have good technique. Norse had it there, and then a service error gives it right back to Ohio State. Let's take another look at how Northern Kentucky got it done at the net. I think that's maybe a little later here. Have to come back to that as live play resumes. Off the fingertips for Matt Cosgrove. And it will be Kyle Sauer to serve. 2023 AAU national champion, All-American. He was going to go to Harvard. So obviously tells you what kind of student he is in the classroom. Off the top of the block there for Pickering. Quick set, somehow kept alive there by Peterson. See if the Norse can find a way to win this one. Over on 2 by Pickering. And that one's going to go wide. Norse just never could get back into a rhythm there. Cosgrove misses. 8-3 lead for Ohio State. Here comes Salvatore. There by Klausing. Pushed over. Buckeyes block it. Norse have to send a free ball over. And blocked by Ohio State, but wide as the kill will be given to Cosgrove. Norse going point for point with Ohio State after spotting them the big lead, but got to find a way to try to get a couple in a row to claw your way back into the set. Easier said than done against the Buckeyes. From the back this time, put away by Cosgrove. 2 in a row for the grad student from Chesterfield, Missouri. It's back to within 3. Let's keep it alive. That's going to hit the floor. Shane Wetzel just too hot to handle there. That will send Daniel Henwood Rodriguez back to serve. Henwood Rodriguez averaging 10 assists per set so far this season. Floats that one over and gets the ace. Crafty there from Henwood Rodriguez. The Buckeyes back up by 5. Ohio State hitting at a 400 clip here in this second set. With Kentucky at 0 and too hot to handle there. Klausing not able to handle that serve. And now to be a timeout for Northern Kentucky as Ohio State has regained a 6-point lead. In fact, Aces have given them an 11-5 lead. I say that was just a little bit behind Henwood Rodriguez on that toss and forced him to push it wide. So now 11-6. Ryan Peterson. The middle, Norse keep it off the floor. Second chance from the back. And was there a touch? There was not. O'Riordan tries to find hands and can't do it. Kentucky wins a scramble point there as they keep it alive. And O'Riordan with the miss. Floats that one long. Service error for Northern Kentucky. Service error number 6 for the Norse. And Ohio State returns one on the other side. That, I believe, will be number 10 service error. They had 7 in the opening set. And the Norse down by 4. Will McKelvin. That one misses. Ohio State thinks there was a touch. O'Riordan thinks he's got a kill, and we'll have a challenge on the Ohio State side as the Buckeyes were convinced that there were fingertips on that one. So back to the monitor once again. Mentioned Ohio State 4-3 on the season. The 4 matches that they've won, they have not dropped a set. The other 3 matches were against 3 of the top 4 teams in the country. Don't really see it there, but kind of hard to see from the high camera. They installed the replay system here last summer. It was in use during the women's season in the fall, and now in use for the men's season. They've got cameras mounted throughout Regents Hall. And of course, call on the floor. You know how this goes with replay by now. Got to be indisputable video evidence to show that there was a touch. And honestly, that's not always easy, even with a bevy of cameras. Homecoming week here in Northern Kentucky. It's the 3rd contest in as many days. Norse are 1-1 so far. And there was a touch. That's what replay's there for, to get that one right. Buckeyes were immediately sure that there was a touch, and they were correct. And they go up by 5 once again. O'Riordan will get the kill, and Aaron Grimm will go back to serve. And he sends that one long. Obviously, we had women's basketball 2 nights ago. Anna Hamilton coming in with a big shot at the end. Men's basketball loses a heartbreaker in overtime last night to Green Bay. See Darren Horn across the way in attendance tonight. Buckeyes keep it off the floor. It's going to be a free ball sent over by Hudson. Line drive set. Didn't get enough of that one. Joust at the top. Ohio State wins another one. It's the second or third time there's been a true joust. And the Buckeyes seem to find a way to come out on top. Of course, it helps when Shane Wetzel's up there. And it helps for Ohio State when Shane Wetzel's back here. As he's set to serve. The Buckeyes up 14-9. Buckeyes throw up the block. And tapped over. And point will go to Ohio State. Now 15-9 advantage for the Buckeyes. They're going to take a 2-0 edge in this one. A little something off of that one. Quick set. Wetzel kept it alive in the back. And the Norse come up with a block again. That was Adam Blair that time who was able to get the block. The Norse trying to encourage themselves, trying to find a way back in this set. Spotted Ohio State the first 6 and been playing catch up ever since as Blair goes to serve. It's down the line, kept alive by Hudson. And that one is in. I was looking to see if there was a touch, and it's just another straight kill. Jack O'Riordan will go back. Ohio State blocks again. It was him with Rodriguez there. And then able to steer that one down the line. Cosgrove puts it away. As I said a few moments ago, point for point. Not going to help the Norse at this point. Got to find a way to string a couple together. Here's Sauer to serve. Off the top of the net. Quick set, and that will be off the block and wide. Another kill for Salvatores. He will head back to serve. That is kill number 7 for Salvatores, hitting over 500. Second on the team in kills in this match behind Wetzel with 8. And that one finds the back line. An ace for Salvatores. All that topspin on that one. Norse thought it was headed long, but dives down into the court. Brings the heat this time, but that one's going to sail long. Not enough spin to bring that one down. Well, picking up an extra point, pushing the Ohio State lead to 6. Heading to the business end of set number 2. Cosgrove to serve. From the back. Too good there. Once again, another kill for Ohio State. And the Buckeyes going to make a substitution. We're going to see Tyler Tharp into the match, the redshirt sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. Playing in his 6th match of the season. Henwood Rodriguez set to serve. Kelvin had to readjust his run up there. That's set very close to the net. And it's just wide. But Ohio State again thinks it might have been off of McKelvin on the way by. And we're going to get another challenge for Ohio State. Did that graze McKelvin before it hit the floor, which would take the Ohio State Buckeyes to 20 here in set number 2. We shall see what the replay shows. Giving that tablet a workout in this one. But that's really what it's there for, and especially in the men's game. It's just so fast. that having the replay system in place helps these officials try to get these calls right. We're going to see if we can see from our net cam that it hit the finger of McKelvin. Kind of looked like it might have. Can't say definitively, but I could see where you could make that argument. Right there, potentially. If it did, that's where it would have done it. Saw a tournament earlier this year where they actually didn't use line judges and they just had the replay system in play, and if the officials weren't sure, they would go to the replay. You also wonder if something like the Hawai'i system could end up coming to men's volleyball. I'm sure it's used at the international level. As you see in tennis is really the sport where that shines, where they basically use all the computers to track the ball and be able to tell within a few millimeters of where it hits. And you can see the angle he's looking at is right down the line. There's a camera on that wall, right on that line. I think he would have a very good look of whether it hit the hand of McKelvin or not. All parties getting their full report, and now we will find out. And indeed there was a touch. So far, pretty much Ohio State's challenge, their guys have been pretty sure. And it does take trust from the head coach to say, yep, I believe you, we're going to use this challenge. We should start the match with 3 of them. If you keep getting them right, you keep your 3 challenges. If it goes to a 5th set, you can pick up an extra challenge up to 3. From the back, kept alive by Hudson. Big swing there by Tharp. 17 on the other side now, the swing. Wheatley and Northern Kentucky able to take advantage of the overpass and put it away. Tharp will head out. Be Ryan Peterson to serve. And it sails long. And Buckeyes 4 points away from a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Here comes Pickering once again. And smacked into the top of the tape. It's something, if you haven't watched a lot of men's volleyball, I'm sure you've noticed already. More service errors in the men's game, but due in part because you really can't afford to not attack with the serve. Put you in a bad spot, especially with guys like Shane Wetzel swinging on one side. Wetzel's going to get another chance, and Wetzel puts it home. There's just nothing you can do about that angle and that velocity. We're going to see Brady Jones, a freshman from Loveland, Ohio, the local product, St. X High School, getting a chance to get out there just across the river. 3-time letter winner for the Bombers, and won a state championship with St. X his senior year. McKelvin from the back. What a swing by McKelvin. Found the space and sent it home. The Norse have played fairly even after that start as Grimm comes back in. Just the opening 6 points of the set really decided it. Something Northern Kentucky's going to have to correct for set 3 is to get off to a better start. Reardon off the top of the block. Dumped over on 2 by Sauer. Crafty there. Alalona said we would probably see Sauer give them a bigger setter. Said also could see McKelvin doing some setting, but I think they need his hitting right now, maybe a little bit more. And the Norris able to stuff that one. Adam Blair with a block. Kentucky not giving up on the second set just yet. Back to within 5, still a long way to go and not a lot of time to get there. But certainly an encouraging sign. If they can't close the gap in going into set 3 as that service error will give it back to Ohio State. just 2 points away. And the guy you don't want to see going back to serve if you're a Northern Kentucky fan, and because of that, the North's going to take a timeout. Shane Wetzel getting ready to line up the big lefty serve to try to, and Shane Wetzel will head back to try to do his part to close it out. First team All-MIVA honoree, both last season and in the preseason this year. Quick set and a touch. Ohio State says no, they didn't touch it, but the line judge says yes, and I believe there will be a challenge here, so that was Cosgrove to get the kill. The North's going to have to string some together here with Blair. From the back, and another kill from the back row. Pickering coming out of the back that time to put it away. And the Buckeyes are at set point. Take a 2-0 lead. And it'll be Jack O'Riordan to try to close the door on Northern Kentucky here in the second set. At the antenna on the swing, and that is going to do it for set number 2. As Cosgrove's swing is in this beyond a 3-set match, and it is the local product Brady Jones who will get the start here in set number 3. St. X native, Loveland, Ohio. Off the fingertips there by Cosgrove. Peterson kept alive by Wheatley. From the back, dug out by Wetzel. Free ball coming, chance for the Norse. Tapped over on 2, Wetzel's ready for it. From the back, and Ohio State made Northern Kentucky pay for giving them that next opportunity as Jack O'Riordan comes flying out of the back with the Buckeyes on top here in the third. Norse can't let Ohio State get out of touch early as they did in set number 2. Quick set and put away. Ryan Peterson gets the kill. That is his first kill of the night. And substitution is Eliel Salvatores will come back in, and Brady Jones will come out. Good to see him get that opportunity. That's a good move by Kevin Birch. Basically in his hometown, just across the river. Wetzel sends over a free ball. And that will be put away. Matt Cosgrove with a kill. Northern Kentucky on top here in the third. Kyle Sauer starting the serving here for Northern Kentucky in the third set. Off the top of the net. Line drive set, Norse keep it alive. From the back. Good dig in the back by O'Riordan. Wetzel off fingertips. From the back once again, that's Wheatley from the second time in the back. Wetzel will have to send over a free ball. Set was behind him. Cosgrove, did he get a touch? Yes, he did. 3-1 Norse. Don't think Northern Kentucky, and I'm sure the truck will correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they've had a bigger lead in a set than 2 points. I think it was in that first set. Served there by Sauer. Dug out by Klausing. Cosgrove again, this time he's stuffed. Aaron Grimm. Daniel Henwood Rodriguez will step back to serve. Joust. Northern Kentucky gets the better of that one. Pickering taps. Pancake keeps it off the floor. Norse keep it alive. Back set. Oh, nothing you can do about that. Shane Wetzel with the precision and power to put it away. Too good there from the Buckeyes. All tied up at 3 here in the third. Cosgrove off the block. Pushed over quickly. Norse keep it off the floor as Grimm sent it over. And that time Grimm sends it home. Just gets enough of it to get it over the block and drop it in front of the back row. And Ohio State back in front. 3 straight here for the Buckeyes to go up 4-3. From the back. And Griffin Wheatley. So much momentum, actually took him under the net, but the ball was out of play before he went across. All tied up at 4. Comes Cosgrove again to serve. Overpass. Norris put it away. Nope, net violation. It'll go to Ohio State. More bad luck there. Norris were given a free one there on the overpass, and net violation takes it away. That's another one of the things that Jim Palalonis was talking about to us before the match. Things like that that have to be cleaned up. And that one misses long, no touch. You make a good play, but then you take it away because you're into the net. That's part of building this program, and Jim Palalonis has been tasked to do. Starting from scratch. Tapped over, great hustle play there. It was Henwood Rodriguez that sold out to keep that one alive. And then Ohio State getting it done with the block. Grimm, and mentioned before the break, of course, Jim Palalonis is building this program here at Northern Kentucky. And he took over, it was about 18 months ago when he was named head coach, and he said, you know, that was late for this recruiting cycle, so it's challenging as that one is driven straight home by Grimm. So they were kind of playing catch-up anyway. The one thing that helped them out a bit was the NCAA ruling back in October that rosters would be limited to 18 players. So they were able to pick up a couple of players that may have been committed to go somewhere else, but simply just didn't have a roster spot. As Grimm sends that one into the net. So it's a building process, and it's a process of building confidence, and that's something that Palalonis is still working with this team. Didn't help them any as that one goes outside the antenna. Didn't help them any that they've lost 2 matches already this season due to weather. They were supposed to play Wabash here on the day we got all the snow. That was canceled. They didn't want Wabash to go back in the snow, and then the second game of a 2-game trip to Lincoln Memorial was waved off due to weather concerns. Big drive dug out there by Hudson. That'll be a free ball sent over by Wetzel. Wetzel digs that one out, but it's going to go onto the floor. As Adam Blair will get the kill. North River back to within 2. But the one thing Northern Kentucky hopes is this is just the beginning of something big. You know, they have big dreams as that one misses just long. I mentioned, you know, would love to be able to get to a point where you can play Ohio State over at Truist Arena in the big arena. As Jacko Reardon set to serve with the Buckeyes up by 3. And that one into the antenna, point to Ohio State. Doesn't help that they're without the services of Juan Marco Diaz tonight. He's been a bit banged up. So they thought they might be able to use him in the libero role if they got the opportunity, but that would probably be where he would be limited. And we've so far not seen him there either, so his return will have to wait as that one pushed just long. And this one kind of racing toward the finish as Ohio State up by 5. And Norris will make a substitution. It will be Drew Palmer, freshman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Listed at 6'6", Jim Palalonis told me at the beginning of the year that he's been told by his doctors he's not done growing yet at 6'6". He's got raw skill and the right attitude. Believes he will be an all-conference player, maybe even all-American player someday. So someone that the NKU coach is certainly high on. That's what I keep telling people. I'm still waiting for my growth spurt, but I think I might be out of luck. That one's going to sail long. Point to Ohio State. 5-point lead for the Buckeyes here. Will return home to the Covelli Center coming up on Sunday to take on Central State. And they hit the road. Take on Queens University of Charlotte for 2. Over on 2 by Sauer, nicely done. When they return home again on February the 19th to take on Ball State at the Covelli Center. Beautiful facility up there on Ohio State's campus. And then Purdue-Fort Wayne coming up on February 21st. Mastodons will be the next opponent for Northern Kentucky coming up tomorrow night in Fort Wayne. Back row attack is blocked as O'Riordan is rejected. Peterson pushes through the block and succeeds. Of course, the Mastodons and the Norse know each other very well. Conference rivals in other sports here in the Horizon League, but also conference rivals in the MIVA. Norse will be there for 2 days. They'll play Damon out of New York on Saturday before they return home next Thursday to take on Maryland Eastern Shore here at Regents Hall. Service error there. Then they'll head to Wilberforce to take on Central State on February the 13th, and then they'll get the Mastodons here on February the 19th. Our next TV game we'll have for you will be on March the 19th against Lewis. Punch to the back by McKelvin. And net violation, or even under the net, I believe, called on Ohio State. So Norse are back to within 3. Jim Palmer serving. Playing in his fourth match of the season. Put away by the big lefty once again, Shane Wetzel. Wetzel up to 12 kills on the night, hitting a 450 clip before that swing, now 476. From the back, was there a touch? There was not. Swing there by Palmer, but couldn't find hands. Hit the top of the net instead, and it spun on wide. Buckeyes again back up by 5. Peterson rejected by the net. And now Peterson will head back to serve. And just jamming it through is Shane Wetzel. That block is at all late. Good luck. He just crunched that through. Here's Grimm. Buckeyes up 17-12 in the third. And McKelvin gets the touch this time. Point for the Norse. 4 kills for McKelvin. That'll bring him up to 0 on the hitting numbers. Just a one-handed back set there, and that's just enough for Wetzel to hit it off the block. Again, Wetzel climbing up the list of all-time kills at Ohio State. Currently 13th. Colin McMillan is next, 1,206. In 12th place. And that one misses down the line. The Buckeyes only 6 points away from another clean sweep. Again, 4 wins this season, all without dropping a set. 3 losses at home to the defending national champions, Long Beach State, at UCLA at Pauley Pavilion, and what really was a 4-set match that went 3 sets. And then in 5 to USC, the number 4 team in the country. That one misses long, no touch, point to Northern Kentucky. It'll be fun to watch this Northern Kentucky program continue to develop. It's a very young team, a lot of freshmen, even a lot of the transfers with eligibility. And that time Salvatore has found a target. Was able to get the kill. The Buckeyes first to 20. I believe Jim Paolona said they only knew for sure of one player that would definitely be out of eligibility after this season. So the team is going to be able to grow together. And that one misses from McKelvin. And you can catch it right here on FanDuel Sports Ohio. Brady Labor and David Wassler will have the call of that one. Ohio State 4 points away. And the Norse will get the serve back after the error. See some substitutions here for Northern Kentucky. We see Grant Seimer in for the first time, the freshman from Cincinnati Lakota East High School, and Chase Aaliyah, the freshman from Franklin, Indiana. And there's Aaliyah who will get the serve. And misses that one long. So Northern Kentucky getting a chance to get a couple different guys out there here at the end of this one. I think Ohio State will do that as well. And indeed, it'll be the local kid, Brady Jones, getting another chance. With Ohio State just 3 points away. Sent over, and then an overpass. Ohio State kept it alive for a moment, but Sauer going to get the kill. And Ohio State doing this tonight without Stanislaw Hachenski, who's averaging almost 3.5 kills per set, at 22 kills against USC. So it's impressive that they've been tonight. They're doing it without one of their best hitters. We're going to get another sub. It is Christian Teresi in for the first time from Chicago, Illinois, Marist High School. First team All-American as a senior at Marist High School. Third on the all-time state list in assist at 3,258. He will get the chance to serve here, and he will serve it wide. Comes Drew Palmer. Buckeyes get a side out. They'll have a chance to serve it out. Quick set. Dug out by Sauer. Off the top of the block there by Wheatley. And that one finished off by Owen Pickering. And it'll be Pickering to have the opportunity to close the door on Northern Kentucky. Norris hung around in set number 1. Ohio State has cruised to the next 2, looking to slam the door shut. Match point. And that one is tapped off the block, and the Norse stay alive as Wheatley gets a kill. And Ryan Peterson will serve. It'll be match point number 2 for Ohio State. And the service error will bring the proceedings to a close. The Ohio State Buckeyes, after that tough road trip out west, come back home, open MEVA play with a sweep tonight. They defeat Northern Kentucky